Hello, and welcome to another episode of Club 3. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Janae.
And I'm Jay Trent.
and of course, this is our last episode of the season because the finals just ended yesterday. It was a lovely finals 99% of the time. Uh, Honestly, one of the best finals I have watched in NBA or WNBA. Superstar performances, very great performances from like bench players, and like the defense was immaculate, the passing, the shooting, like it was a lot to appreciate. Every game was close, I think, except game two. Multiple OTs, game winners. Honestly, if anything, this series probably convinced me that the WNBA does not need to go to 7 games, although it's cute. But I just yeah, I don't really know if that's necessary. I do see the idea of the first series is three, the second series is five, and the last series is seven, I guess. But it's like, damn, the last series I gotta play is 7 games. That's kind of nasty.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I guess we can discuss game five.
Wait, wait,
Wait,
not
wait,
yet,
okay.
not yet, not yet. Because you mentioned the 7 game series. Since they've decided to go that route, they're gonna have to space this out a little bit more. Like, like you can like watching OT in game 5. I was tired watching them, so like I know it's rough. I know it's rough for them. And the season is going from 40 games to 44. So yeah, this the playoff
M-
format is changing next year. So that like
My
there's a lot of moving parts that they're trying to incorporate all of them at one time. And I don't know if that's the best idea. I mean, I get it, but it feels like the 1-1-1 for the first round. I feel like that should have waited until we had 16 teams because that way you can have conference standings. Because let's say Connecticut is the 1 seed and Seattle is the 8 seed, and you playing a 1-1-1 flying back and forth between
is that me?
like that just feels like a lot.
Oh, it like cut out a little bit, and I got scared. I thought I
I thought
was
it was
Oh
me.
no, no,
I was like,
okay,
oh my.
no. Are we good now? We good now?
Yeah, we
yes.
go, we go.
But I mean,
Okay,
we got the gist, but it was just like you just like froze, and I was like, "Damn,
okay,
I hope this is not how
no,
it was the other day."
okay, no, we good, we good.
But yes, 1-on-1 is very nasty. With the way it is now. Also, my thing is, how are you going to do this? And like, does that mean you start the season earlier? Are you ending the season later? Because you already have players like, complaining about back-to-backs. And I mean, of course, you're not going to have the Olympic break this year or the next 3 years. So that'll be good. Uh, but it's like still, when there is the Olympics, inevitably you'll have to figure out something. My
Do
thing
they
is,
do they shorten the season for
yeah,
Olympic years? Yeah, I feel like that could work.
my thing is, and what has been my issue for the longest is we're doing all these things for rosters and playing more games and adding games to playoffs and whatever. I feel like increasing the roster size needs to be this would help everything. Like even if you don't put things in conferences, at least I'm not like if somebody always gets hurt, somebody always doesn't play up to expectations. There are already hella players that get cut and don't really have a home the way they serve to or should. And it's like you have people making serious roster crunches, having to decide between continuity and like better players, and when theoretically you could have both. Um, if they just put the roster size. Yeah, like y'all are trying to do all these things that the NBA is doing, but y'all won't put the roster sizes to 15. I just don't think that makes sense. And every time Kathy gets asked about it, she acts like that's a dumb question. And I'm like, why are you acting like that's a crazy thing? You're doing everything else the NBA is doing. Why can we not put this to 15 games or 15 people on a team? I don't think that makes sense. You're having these girls play the most games anybody has ever played in the WNBA in a season, on top of more playoff games than anybody's ever had. Like they're breaking records and bringing you all these numbers, and like they aren't really being protected in a way that I feel like they should. I don't know if that's a uh like a W WN the Players Association thing. Like I don't know if that's something they may be able to bring up, but if it is, I hope.
It's a CBA thing, and I was it one of the things that was on their list.
Let me go look. I'll pull it back up.
Um, and for reference, they just announced today that the WNBPA wants to opt out of the CBA, so they don't come up with an agreement before this next season. The season might be stalled. And they came up earlier with a couple of things that they wanted to sort of prioritize, which makes sense, um, to some extent. Um, but I don't know. The one thing that I do remember them mentioning was money. Like they've been talking about the
Mhm.
equity thing for a while. Um, but I don't know. It's like rosters, like y'all are tired, like y'all are dead, and you would think that like this year is an Olympic year, so you would think that more people would be like, actually, like we need to get paid, but we need some more bodies on the floor. We can't keep doing this. Like we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, so the the negotiation pieces for the WNBPA, equity-based economic model that grows and evolves in step with the league as a business. Player salaries, minimum professional standards, so including practice, game facilities, travel accommodations, retirement benefits, and pregnancy and family planning benefits.
The facilities thing is going to be interesting to me because what does that mean? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so,
'Cause the
right.
conversation before was like, well, we can't make them do, like, you know what I'm saying? We can't make them all have facilities, but it's like, can you?
I feel like what
Right.
is
So now, because now what it's saying they're looking to do is to implement a consistent minimum for what your practice facilities can be. So
like nigga, if you
of
don't have
course,
a
like
sauna,
of course,
you're cooked.
you're right. Like like of course, some teams are gonna go above and beyond. But I do think it's a good concept for them to say we need to at least have a baseline. To where if I go to any team, I know that I'm going to at least have this.
But it's
I
like, but
need
that's my thing is like, where does that begin and end though? Right? Because like
Mm,
right now it's like, all right, we all get team housing. We all like you have to provide, so much money, or you have to have a housing thing. You have to have so much of a stipend for this thing. It's like everybody has a gym. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a gym. What are you gonna say? Oh well, one of the things that happened for Connecticut Sun is they had to share the floor with a birthday party. It's like, are you gonna say, oh well, whatever gym or whatever we use has to prioritize us? Because then it's like, what does that even look like? Especially when we think about stuff like Barclays and the NBA draft. It's like, are they gonna have to pivot? They should. But
yes.
like, is that gonna be a thing that's like they're gonna take into account when they say this is the minimum professional standard? And like, two, how are they gonna implement that? Because at this point, what we found out this year is that the WNBPA doesn't have good lawyers. Like clearly they ain't got the personnel on the staff. And it's like, are you gonna fix that too? Because everything looking a little too like everything is too close together. And it's like that's not really beneficial. It hasn't seemed to be beneficial. But I know now too there are more eyes on the league, so I feel like they got a little bit more pressure to rise to the occasion because every time somebody finds out that some team doesn't have a facility to practice in or they ain't got no gym or whatever, people are flabbergasted. But it's like we've been telling y'all that for like the last 4 years. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. We keep telling y'all that. I don't know why y'all not hearing it. Like, but that's
Yeah. Yeah,
um
I do think that the Players Association is gonna be able to use like the TV numbers from the season, like the finals did crazy numbers. Even in prime time going up against other major sports leagues, like the numbers are still there. So they're going to be able to pull those, and that will probably give the players a little bit more leverage than they've had in prior negotiations.
So are you why is WNBA putting the game on during football? Why is it putting it on during playoff baseball? Shut your ass up. They still they still putting up numbers. People who gonna watch it, they gonna watch it regardless. It doesn't
I was
it's
over here, yeah, I was over here struggling with the split screens. Like I'm gonna make it happen, but
it's fine. They're gonna watch if they want to watch. And if they don't, they probably wasn't gonna watch regardless. Like y'all don't have to
and
go. Y'all don't have to complain. Like, there's always a major event, sporting event on every day. Like, there's only so many times that they could have a game. And I ain't trying to watch something on my Monday at 4 p.m. because it ain't no games on. That don't make sense.
right. And some of us like have jobs. So we're not at home at 4 p.m. I will say though, it's the game four numbers just came out and it averaged 1.7 million views and it peaked at 2.4 million. So 88% up from the 2023 game four finals. Um and I will say that is interesting to me because I mean I feel like all the other numbers we've seen them significantly increase like 100, 200%, whatever the fuck. But Grid to only be 88%, and that was last year's championship. Like, I don't know, I feel like that kind of speaks to how well they were actually doing in the prior year. That
mm,
I think a lot of people have kind of been trying to minimize since like, more game stuff started to hit a mill this year. It's like this is kind of the trajectory that they were already on. You know what I'm saying? Like if your baseline last year was 950,000, like you're not far off from a meal, So I think that I'm I like that they put that statistic on the graphic.
I don't think people realized, or something I noticed in the past like 3 years, well, especially last two, or really, especially since their 25th anniversary season. Like every year since that and beyond has been this is our highest number since such and such a year. This is our highest number since such and such a year. Like this kept progressively happening, whether it's a primetime game, whether it's the All-Star game, whether it's playoffs or whatever. It's like these are our highest numbers since 99. These are our highest numbers since 2002. These are the highest numbers since whatever. So like Jamae said, the trajectory was always there. And like certain people, whether it be Caitlin, Angel, Asia, Sabrina, whatever, have definitely sped that up. But it just speaks testament to what people were doing prior and the work that they had put in prior and how much the game has grown in the time. So yeah, I hope that the Players Association takes the WNBA to the woodshed and gets everything that they should because y'all absolutely deserve it. But I think first on that table needs to be 15 players. I really also think, like y'all were saying, that they asked for a minimum when it comes to like per team. I feel like that minimum has to be on that, like a practice facility, like their your own practice facility and lockers. And it's like you better be in the process. If it ain't there, That shit need to be there by like 2027, something. Because all these new teams, I mean, that's probably that it's no way that doesn't come standard with the new teams. Like the Valkyries are automatically, we've seen theirs. This looks astounding. Um, the Raptorettes or whatever they about to be. You know that jump about to be crazy. Um,
Raptorettes is nasty. I really hope they don't use that. I just
they,
Absolutely
immediate
not.
they're
side
not
note.
they're not using that.
I put what was it? I think it was Triceratops. Yes, I submitted that actually. So WNBA Toronto. I'm just saying,
I
it's
would like.
cute. It
I
is
think
on
that
brand.
I think the Toronto tries would be kind of crazy.
Right?
Like you short and Triceratops.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought
Okay.
you were saying like full name was Toronto Tries. I was like,
No,
try what? Oh my God.
no, no,
I
no,
got you.
no,
I got
no,
you.
no, no. But or like Toronto Falls. I've seen people say Toronto Falls.
That's
I think
kind of
that'd be
cute.
cool. Uh, but yeah,
I was trying to find the ones that they've already eliminated.
They already eliminated some?
Like I know that they said they're not doing. I know they said the Toronto Huskies is out. Like
Oh,
I know they
that's
already said
terrible.
that. Yeah. No, it's
I didn't
not
like
good.
that.
And
I
that's
didn't like
like
that name anyway.
that's really yeah. No, I don't like that. But
So yeah,
they've
all
already
these
said
new
that they're not doing
teams,
it.
all these new teams are gonna have practice facilities and their own lockers and all that stuff. So there's literally no reason for. Oh, and Portland. No, I forgot. They're about to be. I wonder if they're gonna be the Fire again. Um, but they're gonna have a lot of basic things, and if they're anything like the Valkyries, it'll be better than what a lot of people's have. We're looking at you, Chicago. Um,
I was
so
gonna
yeah,
defend them, but I'm not actually.
no, they're not allowed. D Wade, open your purse, sir.
His crossbody bag, be correct.
No, he needs to open his purse.
No, okay, yeah. But I hope so though. I really do hope it like leads to all of the teams like within the next year being like, okay, we're breaking ground on a new facility because it's getting egregious.
Let
Dallas, I'm
us.
looking at you. Atlanta, I'm looking at you. Indiana, I know y'all share with the Pacers, but I'm also looking at you. Yeah, I'm looking at you too because get them girls something else. The gym is cute, but they could do better. They could do way better.
I need Atlanta to get out of that damn dresser drawer of an arena.
And that's the thing. Like this is like, oh yeah, we sell out every game. I bet.
A family of four buy a ticket, and it's like we sold out. It's like I guess, sure. It's very cool of you.
That is extremely funny to me.
Uh, so yeah, we'll see. But these organizations got to step their cookies up, or they gonna get lost in the mix. Because it's definitely get to the point where the players are more vocal about like, yeah, I don't want to play here because they don't got shit for me. And when people start missing out on big free agents and all this other stuff more and more often, it's gonna get real nasty. Like, and people are, and especially with Chicago, like there have been multiple players that are already like, fuck with Chicago like that. One of the greatest cities on earth, and people are like, yeah, fuck that organization. They are nasty. So, are we ready to discuss the finals?
Yes.
Jamae, are you okay?
You know, yes. I'm not gonna say anything. I've decided to take a vow of silence. I am sick of these niggas. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop myself.
Uh, well, what I will say is again, this is one of the greatest final series I've ever watched, and it was an absolutely amazing series and game for 99% of it. Um, both teams, okay, well maybe you can say 95. That was
Uh,
pretty good though.
we'll, we'll get there. We'll get there.
People was talking about this is the best final series since 2016, and this shit was way better than 2016 Warriors and Cavs. That shit had one close game.
Yeah, when people talk about that finals, they really just mean Game Seven.
That should have
Which
had
Game Seven was crazy,
immaculate.
but
It had one of
yeah,
the most, like three of the most iconic moments in basketball history. But like that series was kind of mid. Um, but yeah, it was superstar performances. Speed showed out multiple times. Stewie showed out multiple times. Obviously, Jonquel Jones got Finals MVP after, she was 0-3 in the finals, and for her to be able to like finally get her one. Benaj Delaney and Sabrina basically like turned the Liberty franchise around. Uh, and I don't think they really get enough credit for that, especially Benaj. Um, like her having that All-Star season in 2021 and then reinventing herself from being the leading scorer, number one option type player to like a utility, do it all. I'm here. I'll get a bucket if y'all need it, but also if you don't need it, I'm just gonna lock up and stay in this corner. Like she, then that horse tranquilizer they put in her knee in game two where she went crazy. Um, like she's held them down multiple occasions. Um, Nyara, like one of the best random finals or one of the best random performance like this. It kind of reminded me of when Kelly Olynyk put away the Wizards. And that's gonna sound crazy, but she hooped. It was just to a point. I think she had like 10 in the third or something. And once she got that steal on OT on Caleb McBride, I was like, yeah, this is probably over. Like it was looking real grim after that. But she absolutely did her big one. And Courtney Williams showed out on multiple occasions. She did not play well game five, but as we've talked about on the pod before, she has definitely shown her growth as a leader, as a playmaker, as a facilitator. Um, the Lynx would damn sure not be where they are without her. She is one of the two or three people that can like dribble. Um, you know, Kelly McBride had her best season of her career. Fee, second best player in the league all year. Alana Smith had played like she had a backpack on her back, but but she did what she had to do. Uh, like it was just a lot of really, really good performances. The call, as we all know, was very unfortunate. Um, not calling the travel and not overturning that foul was kind of egregious.
not
Uh,
not kind of.
it was egregious.
Yeah, no,
Um, but yeah, I mean, but once OT hit, I mean, even shit that three in the corner, and it was like the Liberty just took off from there. And I think you can kind of tell that the Lynx just felt defeated. I guess they just felt like they weren't it, like the game wasn't supposed to go to that in the first place, and understandably so. Um, so yeah, hopefully this could just allow them to elevate another year, and like this isn't just like a final chapter in a book, like a failed whatever. They're just like a footprint in history. Uh, I do feel bad for them, but also I was reminded that Cheryl Reeve did aerial power is kind of nasty. So it's getting funnier as the day progresses. Um, and Cheryl Reeve did have one of the funniest press conferences ever post finals. So yeah, that's
yeah, yeah. Cheryl had bars for everybody. Um, I don't know where to start here.
You
Um,
get I'll let you be like you were right. We'll say Jay Trent was correct in his
oh, I forgot about that.
analysis.
Yes, I did pick the Liberty in five. By the time we got to OT, I no longer wanted to be right. I wanted them to lose. Like I have to be like. Here's the thing, because it was what happened leading up to OT. I was like, Nah, y'all, this is nasty. Like I, I, I'm glad. Let me go back. I am happy for the New York Liberty. I'm happy that they've broken the glass ceiling. That franchise now has their first championship. I am happy for them. I am happy for the players. I know they went from they had a 2-win season like 3 years ago. So for them to go from that to where they are now, that's impressive. No matter how much money you spend, how many players you sign, that's something to applaud. The way that we got to OT was nasty. And y'all know that I hate ref talk. Like I despise it. Like it's not my thing. I was just like, the game has to be played. But I can't talk about this series, this game in particular, without starting there. Because it it got it got kind of nasty. It did. Um on the other side of that, on the other side of that, um, it's very difficult for me to feel bad for Cheryl Reeve. Very difficult. Because here's the thing. Me as a fan of basketball and wanting to see the game be called the same way the entire time, I can complain about that. You as the coach, there's a limit to how much you can complain about that. Because here's the thing. I wanted to pull this up just to be sure. Um, in OT, Nafisa Collier took one shot. That can't happen. Like she's the reason your team has gotten to this point. Courtney Williams did not have it, so she was pulled after about 3 minutes in the OT. But you could tell that it was almost like it was like the call deflated Minnesota so much that they was like, okay, whatever. And that can't happen. That's a brain trust thing. That's not a player thing. Obviously, the players are gonna be flustered. Things happen. But as a leader, and I think Cheryl Reeve is the best coach in the W. That's just for my money.
Mm.
As somebody with the championship cachet and experience that she has, I kind of expected her to rally them a little bit more because, yeah, you like it was almost like she was in the huddle talking about, yeah, I'm finna go in this press conference and tell the reporters we got hold. I mean, you did, but it's 5 more minutes on this clock. Y'all can still win this championship. I know y'all got tired legs. Like this is you can overcome that. Imagine the bars you could have got off if you won after that. So that was really the issue that I took because like watching it watching it last night, watching it live is hilarious, and it still is. Please go watch it. Um, again, she had bars for everybody, but I was just like, it just part of it just rang kind of hollow coming from her, just because it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be able to reel them in and be like, all right, we got this. We could draw this up. Fee was eating on them cuts the entire game. And it was almost like New York was denying Fee the ball in OT. And then they was like, all right, just give it up. It's like, nah, that's y'all bread and butter. That's how y'all got to the finals. That's how you got to be where you at. So that was what I was hoping to see. And yeah, when it got to OT, I wanted Minnesota to win. Like I was rooting for when Kayla McBride got that steal, got out in transition. I was hoping, that would give the offense a little bit of a jump and they could get it going. But they just kind of fell flat from
Died.
there. Yeah, they just kind of they kind of let go. They kind of just let it go, and I was like, I hate that. Like I wanted to see that last push. It was almost like they had 40 minutes in them, and in the 39th minute, something got snatched from them, and they was like, all right, don't worry about it. That's what it looked like.
So you mentioned OT, they did not give Fee the ball, or like Fee only took one shot. Um, so somebody posted like the Lynx possessions in overtime. So a Williams missed jumper, a Williams missed layup, a Caleb McBride turnover, a shot clock violation, a Heidemann turnover, uh, another Heidemann turnover, a Williams turnover, a Carlton missed jumper, and a Carlton turnover. The fact that they only lost by 5 was kind of crazy. Um, it's again, like Jay said, to they got to OT, and I just you could just see it was like the way they passed, the way they cut, the way they shot. It was just like I can't believe I still have to play basketball right now. I just know they felt like, and deservedly so, they felt like they should be sipping on champagne and yelling at the top of their lungs and celebrating and doing an electric slide. And they didn't get a chance to do that after a regulation. And they were just like, well, I guess Liberty got it. It wasn't meant to be. And I, I, again, the Cheryl Reed thing was funny. I think I'm growing to not like when coaches complain about foul calls, even like when this started during the series, because it really just turns into a back and forth of, oh, this coach is like, oh, they're not calling any fouls for us. And then the next game, they theoretically adjust and then they call more fouls. And then the next game, this goes for the other team. Then the other coach goes in and it's like, oh, well, they're not calling any fouls for us now. And it's just like, it just goes back and forth. And it just, nothing ever just takes into account of play. Like, is there going to be bias and things? Absolutely. It's just impossible to not have some type of bias as a ref, as a spectator, or whatever. But people just don't take into account like play styles, and if one team is typically more aggressive than the other, like the Liberty shoot a lot of threes. And so, or at least they did like them last couple games. So of course y'all not gonna get as many free throws as the Lynx because y'all shoot a lot, but also the Lynx. I mean, we talked about this before the series started. Neither one of them drive that much. So it's just like it just depends on how the game is being played. Like just because someone shoots more free throws than you does not mean that y'all got hold on calls. It just means they may have played more aggressive than you this go round. Um, so yeah, it just turns into a really petty back and forth, and I just think it is Sandy Brondello just so happened to be the last coach to be able to complain, and that just changed. That may have just been the kicker. So I don't know. Again, OT was really nasty. I think Cheryl Reeve is too high on the totem pole to be as flustered as her team is. I completely understand her team being flustered because I don't think any of them have won a championship before. Besides Mahisha Hines Allen, has she won? Did she win 20? Yeah. So
Mhm.
ain't nobody really won one before besides one player on the team. And like they just don't know. But she won 4 of them with some of the greatest collection of talent, which also makes it funnier that she was like, "Yeah, we made it so players don't have to, teams can feel good about not having to circumvent the cap to win," which is like, again, it's very funny, but it's also like you had the greatest collection of talent on one team that anyone has ever seen ever. Like, yes, nigga, you won 4 championships. So I hope that you did actually. You had the you had Jordan if he retired after 93 on your team, along with like
Okay, but
I,
she didn't circumvent the cap to get them, but continue.
I'm just saying. Um, so yeah, yeah, but that again, the call was very nasty. I texted y'all this. My only gripe with people who are watching or who watch as a fan of the team who won, you're not supposed to care about how you won because it doesn't matter. Honestly, if I was as a fan of the Celtics or the Aces or whatever, if we hold the fuck out of somebody on a call and we won, I'm gonna act like I didn't see it because actually it didn't matter. My bad. Like, what foul? What are you talking about? I don't know. Like, if I was a Liberty fan, I would have said she punched her in the face as far as I seen. Whatever. But it's like to say that call didn't matter because they played bad in OT is just really disingenuous because it's that if that call gets reversed or the travel gets called, because again, that travel is egregious. The game doesn't go to OT for them to play like shit. Like you
They be really, and this is which is we talked about the refs in multiple games. They be really iffy about calling travels when you get late in games. You remember that Aces game when they played who was it? I can't remember who they played, but it was like at the last second and she hit that game winner, and then they interviewed the coach after the game. It was like, oh, how did you deal with this um how dominant Asia Wilson was? He said, oh, you mean when she traveled and they didn't call it and she hit that last?
was that the 22 against Seattle
I
because
think so.
I
I think
remember
so.
AJ had a game time layup and she
I was
walked
like,
like fuck.
I was
Ouch.
like, I was like, hey, see no evil. I don't
I
know,
was, I was like, Asia
but
walked bad.
like it just, I just hate. First off, I hate how calls end up dominating conversation, and second, I hate how the refs end up making these moments about them. Like the Liberty just won their first championship ever, and the calls were so bad. We have to talk about the calls. It's like I don't want to do that. I want to just talk about basketball, but I can't because y'all can't be consistent. Like why can't we just keep it consistent the whole way? If you're not calling it, just don't call it. Then the coach is getting the hold and be like, hey, look, they not calling this. Like you can adjust from that, but you can't be like, okay, now I gotta call it because that don't make sense.
To call a touch foul, if a foul at all, because again, that the side replay looked like she did in fact touch her, but it was still really light. So it's like, all right, nigga. But that front one, that is all ball. To call that, even if she did graze her, caress her with the game on the line, is nasty. It's just really nasty.
As
It's funny how
physical, as
it,
physical as the league is, it's just like, come on
it
now,
it's
like,
it's
come on
funny
now.
because it's like I've never seen discourse like this about post game about how a call was missed or like not called correctly from people that have no vested interest on each side. Like in any game, teams on the losing end are going to complain about calls. Like if it was just Lynx fans, I'd be like, all right, whatever. Like I get it. Like that's what fans do. Like y'all always gonna be like, oh, they should have called this in the third quarter or called this in the fourth, and or they let my player get beat up and all sorts of stuff. This is what you do as a biased fan. But like there are people who I, you had LeBron coming on there or Isaiah Thomas and Shakira Austin and like it's like people I ain't never really seen tweet that much be like, yeah, that was nasty. Like Stephanie Dolson being like, that was nasty. Like Stephanie Dolson, what? Where'd you come from? So yeah, I think it's unfair to the players that it ended up becoming this way. And again, as a Liberty fan and as a Liberty player, I probably wouldn't give a fuck because it's like, man, I got a ring. That's really all people gonna remember when it comes down to it. People, as time goes on, less and less people are going to remember that call, or less and less people are going to care. Damn, uh, the Lakers got a championship in '02 from hoeing the Kings, one of the greatest hoes in sports history, and the Lakers still rep that ring like, and as they should. Uh, you got players punching people in the face and all sorts of stuff, and that the refs are just like. Not my business. So I don't know. They shouldn't care, and I respect them for not caring. But and people aren't gonna care in like a month. Uh, and as the years go by, people are not gonna have to explain that this is how the Liberty won their first ring. It is just gonna be and John Quan Jones won Finals MVP. But yeah, I that should not have been how. Ref should never be how a game is decided, unless it's something egregious. And especially like Jay said, refs are bad in all sports. So it's kind of hard for me to single out W1s, but it's like, damn, just I would just prefer you to call stuff throughout the game if you're going to call it. Because they were beating each other the fuck up all game. And that's fine. If that's what y'all want to do, if y'all want to let these girls punch each other in the chest, whatever. Just don't let me punch this girl in the chest. And then when I caress her hand, y'all be like foul with the game on the line because now you being nasty. She don't we done gave each other black eyes and y'all look the other way. But now we damn playing footsie and y'all like that's illegal. What are we talking about? Where did that come from? I'm bleeding.
Yep. Um, what else? What else was I gonna say? Oh, the positive here is Jonquel Jones got her flowers for absolutely carrying that team. Um, through like she was the only consistent offensive player on the floor in every game. Even when she was stepping back and taking threes that I cannot stand, the games that they won because JJ was like, you know what? I'm a center and I'm finna go do center stuff. That's how you win basketball games. She was down there getting boards. She was on the block in the post. Like that's the way that you win those basketball games. So I'm glad that she got her credit for that. They couldn't they couldn't even try to, work their way around that and say, oh, we can give it to somebody else. You can't. You can't. JJ is the reason that they won this series. Um, you talked about Niara Sabali already. She she was huge in game five. She had 13 points and 7 boards. I believe a steal in the block. I'd have to look. But she did it all. Um, so yeah, salute to the players on this championship team. I just hate that the the fallout is what it is, but the the players had a hell of a season all the way around. So
Listen, also, side note, this is a very, very rare instance for me, but Sandy Bardell needs to be fired. I do not care. I do not care that she won. I do not care.
no,
It
wait. Now, if they had lost, it might have been over with. Honestly, like that's
might.
like that's like her credibility is tied to that championship. Like
If
she probably won't be fired next year either. But
if they lost,
it
they are
it looked
sending her back to Australia.
it got kind of it got kind of rough there for a minute. Like
If they lost, they are sending her back. She's getting deported. There's no way she was coach next year. It was no Mike. That was raps. They was gonna hire Kurt Miller.
JJ back with JJ.
Yes, that was gonna be reunited. Um, but yeah, shout out to Niara. Shout out to Niara, Satu. I mean Niara, JJ, and Benaja. Everyone else, I'm kind of looking at you funny. Um, it's funny because I feel like if Stewie did not play like the worst game of her life, that if she had even played like a little bit bad, I feel like they would have gave her Finals MVP, but because she played all time bad and they still won, they kind of had to give it to John Quayle. It was like it almost. I feel like it was like on some here nigga damn shit, although it shouldn't have been.
Mhm.
Because I know for a fact they wanted to give it to Stewie, and I feel like they probably wanted to give it to Sabrina even more. But Sabrina is like Sabrina played some of the worst basketball I've seen for 5 games. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see what are the 6 players that the Liberty are what are the 6 players the Liberty are keeping, and what are the 6 players the Lynx are keeping?
The Liberty six feels kind of straightforward to me.
Benijah,
Feels like
JJ, Sabrina, Stewie,
Leone and
Leone,
Yara.
and oh, so they're not keeping Vandersloot.
I think Courtney Vandersloot retires.
She did just win a ring. So if I was her, I'd retire.
That lady finna be 36.
She might feel like being Diana. I don't know. She whooped the Aces ass. To me, I feel like if I was a WNBA player, if I could score on Kelsey Plum, I'm gonna keep playing.
No. That is terrible. That's why niggas still in the league that should be in the league. Because
When
what the fuck do you mean by that?
when Kelsey
Yeah,
Plum
nah.
when Kelsey Plum locked me up, that's how I know it's time to hang my boots up.
Bye. I'm not engaging with that. I'm not engaging with it. I'm not. I can't even give it no attention. Mm-mm.
So then who the Lynx are keeping Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Fee, Alana, Bridget, and
The worker.
Dorka or Natasha Heidemann or Nyman.
I feel like they low key could have got better. Olivia Opupo was a bet is better defensively, and I think she's a solid ball handler. They would be okay without Heidemann, even if they don't save her. Because I feel like Olivia is not somebody that they gonna pick up anyway. Well, another team will pick up, but anyway,
Well, Diamond Miller, I hope you enjoy Golden State.
she
I
absolutely will.
I think she would. I honestly, if I was Golden State, that'd be one of the first players I'd look to. Like, I think I'm biased just because like I, I
You
we
are.
already
You are. Continue though.
It's okay. It's okay.
and
It's fine.
There is nothing wrong with that.
I didn't need you to say you are though. That was unnecessary. I was saying because when the season that Fee missed most of the games, like she was really hooping. And I just feel like with her play style, she needs the ball. And that will really be a team that she can get the ball because they're gonna stink.
I bet big dog.
So, you know, so yeah, we'll see. Uh I don't the links are good. The links are really good. Fee is really good. I just don't know if they what does next year look like for them? Like do they come back with the same magic? Again, they had 6 players shoot 40% from three. That is disgusting. I don't want to say I don't believe in them again because that is how they shut me up this year. But also like this run seems slightly improbable and a lot of teams will be retooling.
I don't even think I agree with that. I think the thing about the links, I think that worked so well is that like they don't have a outside of Fee, they don't have a star. Like they don't have a like, yeah, Caleb McBride is the second option, but it's like, is she really the second option? You know, like some days it's Courtney Williams, some days it's Alana Smith, some days it's Bridget Carlton. I think that like that kind of gives them a lot of flexibility to do things. And I think as long as they defend as well as they do, like they can beat a lot of niggas. I think the thing that maybe felt a little improbable is like I honestly think they kind of slowed down as the year progressed. Like at the beginning of the season, I feel like they were super hot and like it carried them through games, but at the turn of the season, they like started to play much slower and playing from behind, and I think that gave them an edge. But I feel like if they can figure out how to like play for 40 minutes with that same energy and carry that through a season, I wouldn't be surprised this for them to be like a top five team. Because I don't think that anything that they did was like I, I think even in this game five, both teams shot from three, specifically disgusting. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's more of an anomaly than them not being able to replicate what they did this year, especially given the pieces that they have. Because it's not like they again they got like a bunch of superstars and a bunch of people who are like, well, I want my role to increase. Like I feel like everybody's kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm here to play my part and go ahead. Like there is no, I don't feel like there's any ego attached to what any of them do. So I think it'll be pretty easy for them to be like, okay, like let's try this again. And like let's be serious this time because we've seen what our ceiling could be. And you felt the heartbreak. So I feel like that honestly gives you like a little bit of opportunity in the off season to get serious. Like if Kayla McBride plays, I laughed because before all this, I said Kayla McBride has to play 2 games of them going crazy. And Kayla McBride actually like played 3 games. Like she actually did her part. She
She
actually did
did.
her part. I am so proud of her. Um, but it's like, you know what, you maintain that consistency. Courtney Williams, you know, expands her expands her shot chart a little bit more. Alana Smith is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Dorka expands her offense a little bit more. Um, Bridget gonna be Bridget, you know? So I don't know. It doesn't feel improbable. Like I still don't think like I think other teams could still be better, especially like a Seattle, right? Because they need they they need to figure that
Mhm.
out. But I don't think that don't mean that they could make another run in a year. Like I don't feel like they will be a bottom five team for
Oh
about
no, 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 no. Dear
seven.
God, no. No, no,
No.
no. That when I was saying I didn't know if they could like when I seen the run that they made was improbable, I was not talking about like them being a top whatever. I could definitely see them being a top team again. Uh I do agree with what you're saying that like I think them not having an ego helps, and I think the fact that like the defense they played all year was immaculate. Um, and I always say defense is one of the easiest things to replicate on a game-to-game basis because it's like the ball can bounce any type of way, and that's just it is what it is. But like defense is about you and how connected y'all are, and if y'all are connected, it really don't matter. Um, I feel like them really. I think another ball handler will probably help. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's just will it, with them having to play the Liberty or Seattle or the Aces or Connecticut. It's like, will you make this run to the finals again? And if I had to bet, I would probably say no. But them being a top five team, dear God, that's easy money.
I don't know. I feel like I would be more concerned about like how other teams retool. Like
Hmm.
the only team because the only teams that I think might actually get better from this are Seattle and Indiana, and not even and getting better mostly with time, like just with time and like chemistry. But Indiana is even questionable because child, who we bringing back? But Seattle is the only team that I'm like, yeah, they'll probably get better next year. Everybody else, I'm like, New York, we see you, we see you. Um, Las Vegas, Lynx had your number all year. Now, you could, y'all could show me something. Y'all could show me something. But the only team I'm counting on getting better is Seattle, and I feel like did they split the series? Did they split the series with Seattle, or maybe did 2-1?
Let me see. I believe so, though. I don't think it was a sweep either way.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was a sweep either way. So I feel like that was the only team that I was like, "Ooh, y'all could really do something with this." And I think that's too because Seattle plays more inside, has a stronger front court than anybody else. Um, and I think that makes a difference because they are committed to that bit. Um, but yeah, other than that,
Uh,
like I don't know.
Minnesota, Minnesota need to add size too,
Yeah,
because I feel like there were more Atlanta Smith minutes than there should have been, considering how compromised she clearly was. Like watching her play, like she could barely move out there. And I feel like they didn't really invest in a backup center, like or Cheryl did, because I don't think Cheryl really liked Dorka in that spot. It didn't appear because she didn't play her that much. But that 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 her getting that many minutes, even with that, kind of bothered me a little bit because it didn't seem. It was like, well, I don't know what else to do.
I think the thing about that is like the thing about that is that like I just feel like I don't understand the Dorka not getting minutes thing. And I know that like early on it was Mike Shine's highlight. And I will say I feel like before game four, I think game four, Mike Shine's highlight was unplayable. But before that, she had played really well, in which is like, and this is why like I was kind of mad about Cheryl's coaching a bit because it's like by game two, you don't got shit to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
have literally nothing to lose. And y'all got blown out in that second game. Well, not blown out, but it was like that was a much further game than the other ones. So that was really your opportunity. When you see that you try and go on small ball again didn't work, why don't you try to reverse? Throw Dorka out there, throw Alana out there, throw Maisha out there. Look, y'all already playing spread. What's it gonna hurt you? Like you can't get no worse. Like it cannot get no worse. So like why did that? I think that was the one thing that I was like, okay, you could have just tried it because I mean, what else do you have to lose? And then you have pretty much Sandy just trying anything in game five. Like, you know what? She said, send all the bigs. And you already
Yeah.
ain't got nobody big on your team, Cheryl. Just throw them girls out there. Let Maisha, Ryan, Hines Allen, rough JJ up. Like,
Yeah.
let her go smack Stewie in the back of the head. I don't know. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I saw they were saying that Sandy literally played a lineup that had never played together
I,
in game five. And
I will absolutely give
it's
her
like
credit for that.
this is the finals. This is when you do that. You're like, you know what? Sometimes you got to throw the game plan out the window because sometimes they just got your number. So
Sandy
figure it out.
Sandy seen they was getting the tables ran up on them early, and she said, "If this shit don't work, we cooked." And it worked. And so I do have to give her credit for that. Um, that was I respect Hail Marys in coaching very much so. Again, the Aces just went off of that shit last year with Becky deciding to play Kayla George and letting her hit six threes or whatever. And she started off the game terribly, and she still stuck with her game plan because she was like, "This better work." Like, I don't have no choice but to work. So, yeah, I respect that a lot. Uh, but we'll see. The links with size does sound scary though. If they get like a switchable big, like I don't know, that's gonna be really it's gonna be really nasty. Um, I do not know what I want to say. I don't know how that cap space is gonna work. I mean, I feel like they can't get that many like top level players, but also I feel like money in sports is not real. Like people always find a way to sign somebody. Um,
I think they're trying to expand. I mean, potential CBA expansion, but I feel like everybody that we've talked about them keeping is already on like a 2-year contract. So it's like y'all money already kind of locked in for next season. You just kind of need to get somebody in the door and go from
I'm tr
there.
I'm trying to look. So okay, so they're losing. Or they may not. Maisha Hines Allen is uh $175,000. She's an unrestricted free agent.
After this
Wha-
season, like now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there someone that is cheaper than her, or that was at $1,500? That was uh is also an unrestricted free agent, and that is Brittany Griner.
Bah. Yeah, somebody said I saw somebody said earlier bring Brittany to Minnesota. They said Aces should be worried about Brittany coming to Minnesota, and somebody was like, "I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this," but nobody's worried about Brittany Griner in the year 2024. And I was like, she didn't
Oh
even
no.
rebound for her own team. What you think she gonna do for them?
Okay, I'm trying to look at some
Like
like I'm trying to look at some forwards that are unrestricted free agents or forwards and
Tasha
centers.
Howard, hello.
And
Yeah.
Natasha Howard's going to the Connecticut Sun. We already talked about this.
This is a
It's
great
funny
agenda, and
because
I appreciate that. But I'm just
it's
saying, if they can't get her Minnesota right there, and they was this close to a championship,
it's funny because how many teams do you think they got signed Natasha Howard on their
at the
offseason
top of the list,
thing? Because it's like
bring her
how many
in.
teams is like how many teams is like, oh, if we had a big that could guard multiple positions. Oh look, Natasha Howard, a free agent. I bet you there's a bunch of teams that's like, hey, write that down. It's like y'all are not original, I promise you. But
Brianna
yeah, she,
Jones
she
is a
gonna.
free agent.
I think she gonna have a lot of suitors, and the expansion draft is going to muck up some team plans too. So
I already
Yeah.
say when New York don't keep Kayla Thornton, bye. Cheryl,
yeah, and I don't and
oh,
I don't think
pick
they
up the
are.
phone. Pick up the phone.
Let's
Uh,
see.
Let me see. Brianna Jones, uh, Satu, Cheyenne Parker, Mercedes Russell,
I
Isabel
hate
Harrison.
Cheyenne Parker though. I don't think she run enough, but I mean,
For Minnesota, you mean?
yeah. But I
They
do think
do.
Yeah.
she plays like.
They do need another ball handler.
But I do.
Don't do,
Don't piss me off.
don't do that.
Don't piss me off.
Don't do that. We love
Oh,
you, CP.
Buki, that's not your game. I'm so sorry. I don't know why nobody didn't tell you that. Big guards are not in. They're not in actually. We're going back to the small guards. What I was about to say? I don't. But she could be cute. She could be cute because she'll actually get to play as a center and I don't know. I mean, I feel like since Fee is so mobile, it could work, but I don't know. Anyway,
Fee is such a Fee is such a rare um talent that you can kind of be like, I can put any type of big next to her, and we can figure something out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Fee is probably one of the most plug and play. She might be the most plug and play superstar in the league. As far as like, I don't need much. I'm gonna get mine. You do what you got
yeah,
to do.
she's in that category.
I'm gonna figure my shit out.
Yeah, her and uh her and Stewie probably will be the ones that come to mind in terms
Yeah,
of in terms of whatever role you want them to play, they can do it. Except in the Olympics, they ran a lot of Fee at the three, not great, but
That's not her bag. That's not her
yeah,
bag.
like she could do it for a stretch. That can't be it though.
But I do
Something that
wonder. Oh, well, just quickly, I do wonder if that's something she tries to like expand to, like in the off season, or like that's some part of her game that she works on. Because I feel like her shot is not bad, but if she, consistently can knock that down, like I don't, I don't see it being bad, as a like as a eventual bag for her.
it's crazy. In the playoffs, she was hitting them hoes.
She was spotting up, just like okay, girl, but
It was some of them times in the final, she just like they couldn't get nothing, so she just pulled up and shot a three, and that bitch was cash. And I was like, oh, you want one.
yeah.
So do y'all want to pull up these preseason scrimmages or
oh yeah, we gotta talk about that because I want to talk about Iowa again.
Um, the only thing I'm gonna say about New York, I will not be congratulating you. Actually, congratulations to Jalen Sherrod from undrafted to WNBA champion in year one. Your faves could never. Um, Sandy Brondello, you're on the clock. You're on the clock. Um, fuck Eric Adams. You're cooked. Um,
hey, listen, he talking about going to the parade, and I need somebody to shut that down. You need to
immediately.
be in jail, mister. But you talking about the parade, you need to be in prison.
Ellie better get her ring. And I want she needs to be up there giving the parade speech. I don't want to hear from the rest of y'all. We don't need to hear from the rest of y'all. Only Ellie at the mic. And I'm not gonna talk about their fans. I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm gonna let y'all have it. But I will say, stop acting like the game for officiating was so bad because we all saw in black and white at that. Sabrina Ionescu pick up Bridget Carlton from the back. So don't let's stop pretending that that didn't happen.
I
Let's
forgot.
not pretend.
I forgot that was in black and
Yeah,
white.
in black and white. We
Yeah.
saw it. We saw her. And then she tried to say it was on the floor. No, Bookie. That lady touched the ball. So you're cooked. You're cooked. And you knew you were cooked. You knew you were cooked. Um, y'all are lucky. And my last thing, WNBA, if y'all don't figure out this third party challenger group thing, I will be coming down there. Because if I have to see another call like that, after a challenge, the call was already egregious. The travel was Stewie walked to Paris. She walked back to Paris. Okay. And then she got a foul call. And the fact that it was challenged and we all watched it 5 times and y'all still said, uh, illegal guarding position. Crimes, crimes were committed, and everybody involved is going to prison. That is all.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Not
Yeah.
not not a fan. Not a fan.
It's funny, if we had had this pod immediately after the game, I think Jermaine might have went on a rant for 30 minutes at
I would
least.
have. I was crashing out last night. Um, and I'm not a Lynx fan. Y'all don't understand how I was sitting there, and I was like, it was really bothering me because they did not overturn the challenge. If Shirley ain't had no challenge and they had just called that and they was like, "Ooh, bad call," I would have let them rock. But that lady used her challenge. She saved her good time out for y'all to be like, "No, we're gonna let that stand." They should have locked your ass up immediately. Like, where was security? Because what are you doing? And then this morning, I was like, you know what? Like, I can't crash out about this. This is not even my team. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have no dog in this fight. Like, I didn't really want to see the Liberty happy, but like, I'm an ethical hater. I'm an ethical hater. You know what I'm saying? I give flowers where they're due. But I can't even be ethical right now because what I just watched was completely unethical. And then y'all are walking around pretending like the officiating was already horrible, right? But y'all are trying to pretend me the game four. If nobody had smoke about game four, why ain't y'all have smoke for game four? What y'all Bill Simmons wasn't tweeting is rigged. Yeah, yeah, y'all didn't get that didn't happen. Sandy Brondello won't in the presser saying if I send that clip to the WNBA, they will say marginal contact, no call. She didn't say that because she know her player fouled. She know we saw it. We watched her in 4K, no less. And I was like, ethically speaking, I can't congratulate you. And everybody being like, but it was making it worse. It made it even worse because all the WNBA journalists was trying to take the high road and be like, well, Minnesota could have played better. Bitch, did we watch the same game? Like, Minnesota was down at the start of the fourth. No, they were up. Either way, they were down or up. It don't even fucking matter. At the 1 minute mark, Minnesota had got in a bag. Kayla McBride at the line. Fee giving it to him. They were in the lead. New York missed 3 shots. Stewie missed 2 free throws. 2, not 1. 2. Bitch, you didn't deserve to win. Like, you didn't deserve to win. And then to be like, then to call yourself a python? Bitch, you garden ass snake hole. I cannot believe you. Like, are you serious? I said I wasn't gonna do this. I said I wasn't gonna do this.
No, no, we needed this. We needed this. This is a release.
I was like, all day I've been like, don't crash out about it. It's not that serious. It's not your team. But I'm like, I could not have been Cheryl Reeve because that fucking quarter zip would have been in the middle of the floor. Somebody would have had to see me. They would have had to see me. That game wouldn't even went into overtime because they would have double technical and threw my ass out. Okay. And maybe they would have sent fuck JJ to the line and she would have iced the game. They would have had to see me, bro. Like it's just nobody crashed out enough for me. Nobody. I
Mm,
couldn't have been a Lynx fan in the building. I would have been throwing shit on the court. Get mayhem, the most chaos. Because what the fuck are we doing? And then they'd be like, well, nobody told Courtney Williams to miss 4 shots in overtime. What the fuck? What nobody told Courtney Williams to do? Because when it fucking mattered, Courtney Williams got her ass up and got that fucking rebound over Stewie. And what them bitches do? Look stupid. And then they got fucking rewarded. How dare you? You had Natisha Heideman grabbing rebounds over fucking Leonie Finn. Natisha Heideman is 5'8". 5'8". That bitch should be grabbing no rebound over nobody. And she did it. And they said, illegal guarding position. I'm telling you, I could not have been employed. I would have lost my job that day. I would have lost my job. I would have lost my job because what the fuck are we doing? And then everybody's all excited. Y'all bitches won by 7. You won by 7.
I think
And
they won by. I thought they won by 5.
you won by 5. And you had to put 6'6" Jonquel Jones, 6'5" Niar Sably, 6'4" Leonie Fibich, 6'4" Stewie fucking Brianna Stewart, 6'1" fucking Kayla Thornton to beat 6'1" Nafisa Carter and I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm off it. I'm off it. I'm off it. I'm off it.
That call reminded me of. It's funny because this just happened that weekend too. I don't know if both of y'all seen it. I feel like Jay probably seen it. Did you seen that call that happened in college football that got overturned? And it was basically just like, yeah, if we don't overturn this, we're
No,
not gonna be able to
yeah,
lead the
okay.
state.
So when Jermaine said I would have started throwing stuff on the court, that's what it made me think about. It was a college football game, and like they called like a pass interference after they had caught like this huge interception. All the fans just started throwing stuff on the field, like hundreds of fans throwing stuff on the field. The whole time the refs is over there looking at the little TV screen. They came back and overturned the call.
I just feel
Now,
like
now, all of them fans were banned, but it was because people was like, oh my God, what a bad precedent. Now, if you just if enough people throw stuff, it's gonna make the refs change the call, and it's like, and they still lost the game, so they really did it for nothing. Now they can't go to no more games.
I'm sure some of these refs, I'm sure some of these refs be fearing for their lives, and I feel like they was looking at that teleprompter like, damn, if we overturn this call, we might not be able to leave New York.
No, they should have.
Nah,
We should have been
not
seeing the
fun.
electric slide in Barclays. But you know what? Let's talk about women's college basketball. People who have not pissed me off recently. Um, South Carolina, Memphis. South Carolina looks pretty good. I mean, they looked a little. It was looking a little rocky, but as a relatively young team, they looked really good. I was really moved. I was moved. Memphis also looked really good.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
was gonna say. Yeah,
I said
like of course,
despite the 30 piece, they got 30 piece, but like
yeah.
that won't really know like a 30 piece all game. This was like a 30 piece after the South Carolina third quarter run. They got to get their shit together in the third quarter.
Mhm.
After that, it was like kind of crazy, but they looked really good. Like I moved. I moved.
Yeah. I wasn't watching that game thinking that, oh, Memphis, has a chance to beat South Carolina even in the scrimmage. Like
Yeah.
I knew that I knew that would happen, but didn't serve a little bit longer than I expected them to, and I'm impressed by that. Like it wasn't that they weren't, going out there. Um, it was the thing about these small schools. If you can get rebounds and if you got the 3-point volume, you can stay in the game with anybody. And like going through the tournament, which that's what makes the tournament so much fun to me because you see all of these different play styles and you see how they try to counteract what the other team's strength is. It's like, how do we take that away from them or how do we make that not matter as much? So Memphis, Memphis might get under a team's skin this year. And I liked what I saw.
I think too, like this isn't necessarily something I mean, you can improve on it in the season, obviously, but like I don't know. I don't know how strong their strength of schedule is, but I will say the thing that I really liked is that their ball handling was a tad shaky, but they were just committed to getting to the basket anyway. They were like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna have to do this behind the back 6 times, but we're going to draw this foul. And I was like, you know what? Like, if they can consistently, improve, if they can improve their um driving to the like how they drive to the rim, like I moved. I see some I like. And on the South Carolina front, like Joyce Edwards is gonna be everything that they said she would be.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything. And I do mean
yeah. That
everything.
was yeah. That was
Didn't she
my
didn't she have
takeaway.
like
My takeaway. I was like, oh, like I knew, but like watching her, I was like, oh no, no, no. Like I was like, no, this is real.
didn't she have like 10 points and 10 rebounds in 10 minutes?
Yeah,
Yes.
something crazy,
Yes.
something
And
crazy.
and it was a crazy like I feel like it wasn't even like she was doing too much either. You know, like sometimes like it's like they're force feeding somebody the ball to like get them points. It was like the smoothest like 10 point, 10 rebound, very easy and sharing the ball like the footwork. I was like, "Oh girl. Now you got Joyce Edwards and Malaysia Fulwali for the next 3 years?
Yeah,
Girl, what they gonna become? Like, I don't know. Like, and then Adele, like, to be
yeah,
coming off an injury, she was running the floor like a baby Camilla. I'm not even joking.
yeah. I saw. I can't remember if Dawn Staley. I know she did like. She had like a little soundbite or whatever. I can't remember if she compared her to Camilla or to Aaliyah, but trying to I know it's difficult to, replace losing that caliber big in back-to-back seasons, but Adele looked like she looked like she got something on though.
If South Carolina do anything, they keep it big.
I do, and but I do think that the bigs that they have now will be a lot more like it'll be more interesting, right? Because I feel like, Aaliyah was very back to the basket. Camilla was very like run the floor. I'm the biggest person here. But I feel like now their bigs all kind of have like different strengths. So it's gonna be fun to see like
Mhm.
how they're able to how Dawn can mix and match them and also like what they'll be able to do in their individual games. Because I feel like now she has so many more like options and that's like last year, I feel like we saw them expand their game with the 3-pointer with Pow Pow, but I feel like we kind of expanding it a little bit more because they're bigs.
Mhm.
You have options for mobile bigs, you have options for kind of back to the basket. You kind of have that in between. So I feel like it'll be really fun. And they love a two-man. And it seemed like everybody loved a two-man. It's about to get really good.
So I pulled up, I found what she said. She said that when she was talking about tax, she said she's got the makings of what we've had for the past 10 seasons, which is the dominant big. She has the makings of that, so we're gonna pour into her, not put too much pressure on her. Some of the stuff she did out there, she reminds me of Leah Boston.
Yeah. My sister, I didn't think she was gonna play. So when I seen her get in, and she's coming off of a knee injury, so it's like
Mhm.
usually people kind of have a little step, and you can tell that she's kind of like getting into the groove. But it's like for you to be getting into the groove and you already look like that, I'm scared for the girls.
Yeah,
I'm
they
scared.
look they look like they might be. I mean, they're going into the season as preseason number one for a reason. So like, you know, everybody's gonna for y'all. Everybody feels like y'all are the favorites to win the championship again, which y'all should be. There's no reason for there to be any discrepancy there. But now that you know that, the other teams are gunning for y'all. So, but it looks to me like the talent they got, it might not be no issue for them. Not to say that, they can't lose a game, but to say that they're gonna be a force again.
Yeah.
I need to see South Carolina versus USC. really bad.
Do they play them? Are they on their schedule? I don't think
I
they're on
That's
their
what
don't,
I'm
I
schedule.
about to
don't, the
say.
thing is, I
I don't
don't
think
think
they're on
they're
their
on the
schedule.
schedule. But if that happens in March Madness, I will absolutely yell to the heavens. Like I need that so bad.
No, because you're what's this year four for Kiki? Year four Kiki, you're up in?
Yes. But
Yeah,
baby, that the
Kiki,
real
and it's
the
her last year, so
Yeah.
baby Asia, the real baby Asia.
Yeah, so I'm moved by them. Um, I can't find the first. I swear I sent y'all two scrimmage tweets. I cannot find the first one.
let me see if I can find
Um,
it.
other teams that I saw, Maryland play Seton Hall. I already said that I think Maryland is gonna be a better, like they're ranked 18 right now. Um, and I expect them to make a significant jump. And I do mean significant. Obviously, like they blew Seton Hall out, which is expected, but
Mhm.
all of the pieces that they have, Brenda, you don't have no excuse. Like you have not a single excuse for what this team can become, especially if they can defend. Like Big Ten championship on the way. Well, you got to see USC, but still, maybe you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying. You know,
yeah,
top
I
two.
could, yeah, I hope I like the Big Ten because I mean we'll see what they look like this year, but I like that conference, and I hate that they dissolving the Pac-12, even though they're trying to bring it back in a couple of years. But I think the Big Ten is probably are they the number two conference? I feel like the SEC is just in a league of their own,
Yeah.
especially now that Texas is there. Like it's just a lot, but
I don't know when the SEC dominance will ever end.
not no time soon.
Yeah.
Like not the way that these programs are being built, which I mean that's what happens. Like it's in women's basketball, the SEC is the standard in college basketball. So
Which is funny because I
and
feel like
then
they don't be treating them like that in the postseason, but they always at the end it's always one of
it's
them.
always it always end up being them. It's just like, oh, they do a little seeding shows and then you be like, oh, this SEC team is ranked kind of low, and then you see oh, okay. It's just like the heat always rise to the top. So that's what happened.
I was looking at the Big Ten preseason rankings. They have UCS, Southern Cal at 1, UCLA 2, Ohio State 3, Maryland 4, Indiana 5. Ohio State at 3. They're gonna have to show me something. They're gonna have to show me something. Um, Indiana at 5 too. Well, do I hate Indiana at 5? No, I like that. I like that. Um, but I could very well see that being Iowa. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
That's what
so like
I was gonna mention that. I was gonna say I could see Iowa being in that top five. I don't mind. I don't mind Indiana being the pick,
yeah.
but
Yeah. Who else did we see that? Did you find this week? I don't know. I
I
cannot.
found it. I found it. I'm finna send it to you.
Okay.
UCLA beat Utah by 3 points.
Real? Wait, was that in the first one? Oh yeah.
That's the one.
That tells me something. And it's not good for UCLA, but it's excellent for Utah.
Mhm.
That is crazy for Utah. I Corey Close.
Yeah, I don't know what Utah is gonna look like, but I'm all for I'm all for fun teams just popping up everywhere. So
Who is Utah in the conference with? Are they? Uh, do they
they are
play
in
well?
Utah is in the Big 12.
Okay.
It's Utah, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, TCU, Colorado, Baylor, UCF, Kansas,
The Big 12 actually is going to be very interesting.
oh, Oklahoma State, Houston. Yeah, the Big 12 is interesting. The
Especially with Utah and like Utah feels like the odd one out. I feel like Arizona State, in terms of from like a defensive standpoint in the Big 12, it kind of like they kind of make sense. Not Arizona State. Wait, where's Arizona? They in Big 12?
mhm.
Okay, yeah. Arizona fits, like they make sense. Um, Arizona State too, because they kind of feel like a Cincinnati, just kind of bad. Um, But Utah, I think, is going to be the interesting one because they play the layup or three-pointer. There is no in between. And I don't know how that works against I don't know how that works. I don't know how
See,
that works against
the
Big
thing
12
about
defense.
deviating from that, the thing about utilizing the mid range is you need a shot maker that's skilled enough that you trust to say, okay, she can get in there and stop on a dime, and she can hit that. Because it's like it's one of those things where it's like you got to earn your midi pass. Like you can't just like
Mhm.
it's layups and threes for y'all until I trust you enough to say, all right, you can shoot the midi.
Yeah, so I'm a big Utah is one I'm gonna watch because I do like they getting their PG back. I really liked her. She's a very solid PG. Yana Neepkins is coming back. Um, and
Her last
Deja,
year?
huh?
Is this her last year? Yana Neat
I think it is.
Okay.
Um, unless she gets a red shirt. I think she might have, I don't know if she redshirted last season. Um, because she got injured pretty early. So I wouldn't be surprised if she did. So she might got an extra year, but who knows if she uses it. Um, but yeah, but they don't have the Peely bailout anymore. So it's like,
Right.
and their second player was Deja Young, but she graduated. She did come back on the staff, which I think was a cute move for them. She was
I
like
like
a pretty
that.
good
Yeah.
defender. But yeah, I'm wondering what they're gonna do. But honestly, I think if their 3-point shooting, especially their point guards, 3-point shooting improves, Big 12 is gonna be a little fun. They're gonna have some fun.
Uh, Neekins is a junior.
Okay.
Cause she okay, so last season was her junior season and she only played 8 games. So I don't know if she'll be a redshirt junior this year or if
I think so. I'm looking
okay.
at yeah, her bio on the website still says junior, so I think she probably redshirted.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, uh, I think what's also funny is that she is from Duluth, but from Duluth, Minnesota, and not
Duluth,
Duluth,
Minnesota. Yeah.
yeah, Duluth, Atlanta.
I was
So
gonna say,
Not
girl.
Duluth, Georgia. Yeah.
Oh. Um, I need to find my computer charger. It might die. Anyway, Ole Miss beating Louisville by 20. I can I they if Louisville don't figure it out, they better hope they figure it out. I mean it. I mean it.
you
I
got some
mean
words
it.
for him?
Bro, the Louisville fans was on my head last year. They was on
Yeah.
me. They was on me. And then their team lost. And Jeff Walls 2 thumbs down. Like they was on my head. So they better hope. They better hope they figure it out because I'm about to be in their mentions. Yeah, I'm finna pull up the tweets.
Who
All
else
right.
is on there? Oh, Stanford is in the ACC now. This is
Yeah.
nonsense.
Nasty
I,
work.
Keep going.
let's see. Who else is on here? Ohio State beat Kent State. Yeah, Ohio State. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what Ohio State does this year. I want them to. I want them to do their thing. Just because that was the first. That was the first team that just the first non-South Carolina team that reeled me in because of course I was already locked in with them. But the Big Ten tournament made me see the vision for Ohio State, so I would love for them to make some noise. But I don't believe in them like I did last year.
Why not?
I don't know.
You
Maybe
don't think
it's
you don't think Cody's gonna take a leap? It's
I
gonna be really
do.
dependent on her, but they did get
Yeah, yeah. They gonna need they need a lot from they're gonna need a lot from Cody, I think, because yeah, I think the direction I feel like they go as she go.
yeah. But I do
Like
think
she's
it helps that they got Chance Gray.
hmm
Yeah, they got Chance Gray. I think she's a pretty solid guard. So I think that'll help take some of the weight off of her, but it's still gonna be a go as Cody go thing. And I feel like we saw glimpses of her decision making getting better. So if she worked on that in the off season, I don't know how you improve on that. But if she got right, I feel a little bit more. I feel a little bit more moved. So yeah.
let's see. Who else was on here?
Um,
Wisconsin beat Loyola Chicago.
Sacred Heart beat Yale. Don't know where that
Mi-
is.
Mississippi State
Yale is
beat UT
bad.
Martin by
Yale's pretty good
16.
though. Um,
I'm excited to see this freshman class just because I enjoyed the new finishes every year and the new games and just see how like the games evolve and see how players adapt, seeing what new they're picking up on.
oh child, I thought this said the Purdue. That's not Purdue. Um was Kansas State on there?
Kansas State, I don't see them on here.
Okay.
When does Ohio State play Kentucky? I just see that they're saying that's a future matchup.
Okay, well, I don't know. I do see that Kiki Rice did not play in the UCLA game, so I'm gonna
Mm.
give them something. I'm gonna give them something, but still not a lot. Corey Close, you're still on my list. Um, we will, yeah. SMU beat OK State. Green Bay beating Marquette. Green Bay is in They were the Horizon League champions last year. So them beating Marquette is interesting because Marquette was really good, but they lost their coach to Virginia Tech. So I guess I'm not surprised they're gonna be bad. Not bad, but maybe a step back.
Figure some things out.
They said Minnesota beat Kansas State. That's not good. And I need more information about that because what we mean by that?
Yeah, I guess I need to see like who all played because
Yeah,
I mean, and I
who all
know
was there?
I know you not in the bag of tricks in a scrimmage, but I would like to see. I like to see what all was going on.
Right,
Was it
did Kansas not play a starter? Like,
was
what's
in
the
the
tea
chat?
there? Because Minnesota is not good. Um, so I have questions.
Hello, hello. I just gotta. It's JJ. It says JJ is the best big in the W.
Don't make me remove you from the chat.
Oh, you say hello, hello, and I thought you were trying to figure out if your if your
So
thing worked.
I'm reading.
Best big in the W is this is revisionist history. And this is what I'm not gonna get mad again. I'm not gonna get
She
mad
could she could be the best big in New York. She's definitely better than Cat.
again. She surpassed her archetype. He gonna be.
She's
We gotta start calling him JJ.
yes.
No, yeah.
Okay,
JJ
I'll
spell,
move.
yeah. No, JJ earned that Finals MVP for sure,
She did
Absolutely.
earn
for
it.
sure.
Cedric Cornbread Maxwell also earned his finals MVP.
I'm she did earn the MVP, and a part of me, a part of me is happy for her because she carried, and it was kind of like proof in the pudding of like without her you are nothing. Because I feel like especially as we've seen like the coverage now of the Liberty and like I keep seeing Sabrina and Stewie on these graphics and on these t-shirts and they front and center and y'all shot 5 for 24 to the
Uh,
back, to the back,
honestly,
to the back.
Stewie being on a graphic isn't terribly egregious because at least she's locked up and rebounded and stuff. But Sabrina being on anything is fucking crazy. If you ain't post her to talk about her shooting one for 37, it ain't nothing to put her on. Y'all talking about she brought the Liberty their first championship. No, she did not. She did everything in her power to give it to the Lynx. And Jonquel Jones said no. Jonquel Jones said, I will not lose another finals. I bet you I won't.
This is
So,
Jamae sound like one of them haters. Sometimes,
Hey,
look,
listen,
sometimes hating, sometimes like there's got to be limits, but
oh,
there's some ethics in hating sometimes.
and again, I am a ethical hater. I'm gonna give JJ her ones because she actually did some this time. Last year, she did nothing. Okay, but this year, she did her thing. She did her thing, and for that, if they hadn't given her that Finals MVP, I would have walked the Barclays myself. Give me the mic, Holly. Give me the and we didn't even talk about Holly Rowe. That lady is going to hell. I'm so sorry. Why would you? Why would you? Nyara Sably just saved New York season. And you gonna say to that girl, you only played 4 minutes in this series, and why would you start your sentence like that? Why would you start that sentence like that? Hello?
I think
Hello?
I think I think Holly might also be a hater. I think she just thrives on negativity. And if that's
See,
really her angle,
yeah. See, the thing about Holly Road that I don't understand is like it's almost like let me find let me find some negativity to slip in here because I can do it somewhere. Let me find out something negative. I gotta let everybody know that. I need to put that on Front Street before I give you your credit.
It's
That's her game. That's her
it's
angle.
like I appreciate her wanting to tell stories of adversity, but it's like it's the only story she tells. She be like, "Your life used to fucking suck, and now you're scoring 25 a game. How did you overcome that? Why are you telling people this? I didn't need I
Bro, when she said salute you, she was like, salute, we know you had some difficulties. That lady played 3 minutes of this game. Why are you talking to her? Why are you talking to her? Like,
why you bring that up right now?
why are you talking
I'm
about
just trying
that?
to sell it. I'm trying to celebrate a chip. Ask me that later.
And Salute over there looking mad confused. Why did you bring that up? Like, that's prison. She's going to prison. They should again. Where was security? Where was security? Anyway,
That
Um,
Brondello need to run the offense through Phoenix. Oh, that's my new fave.
Brondello need
But that
to worry about her job. She's lucky. She is lucky. She need to make sure that bonus that they give her for winning that championship, she needs to break it up into three. One for JJ, one to the refs, and then she need to split that last third between Nyara and Kayla Thornton because part of it was Kayla Thornton's birthday, so she need a little gift because she had to show up here for y'all. And she almost took Fee head off. So I mean, she did her work. She did her work.
hey, when Kayla Thornton dove for that ball, and there was no way she was getting that ball, I was like, all right, girl. Like the ball was out of bounds already. She was upright when the ball hit the line, and she
that
dove,
was yeah.
and I was like,
That was for morale.
I was
Cause
like,
like it was
nigga,
like there is no way.
nigga, no way you about to hurt Fia about over this. The ball is
Bro,
out of bounds already. What are you doing?
that was from Morale. It's crazy. I will be repeating that. Um I will be
That's
repeating.
going in my lexicon.
Yeah, immediately. Immediately.
That was
Don't
for
worry.
right. That's gonna go crazy during this NBA season.
Oh yeah, I'm loading that up. That's definitely gonna get some. That's gonna get some burn out of me. That's for sure.
Well, uh, Jay, would you like to say a line?
Oh yes, I believe all hearts and minds are
Oh
clear.
wait.
I
Okay,
guess our hearts and minds are not.
This is the fun.
they're
No,
not.
this is to tell everyone, to our loyal supporters, we are so grateful for you all. Next week we will be doing a stream with our friends. Maybe not next week. At some point soon, we will be doing a stream with our friends, so you can talk about all your favorite moments from the 2024 WNBA season. Um, when you get in here, have some decorum, because I will kick you out.
Can you can one of y'all make one of them like club flyers for it?
Who you want me to put on the front? Martin
Put
Luther King with a
yeah,
chain?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Martin Luther King with a WNBA chain.
You know, the WNBA chain and
With a
Chelsea Gray stud butt and
oh my god.
Yeah. But no, seriously, we're gonna have a stream for all of our friends. And you guys are invited to hang out with us. So yeah, make sure you follow the account and so you can get an invite. Now my heart is clear.
okay.
All right,
Well,
all hearts and minds are clear.
all right, I'm gonna do the outro correct this time because I did not do it last week. So that has been another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Jamae.
And I'm Jay Trent.
and you are watching Disney Channel.